Well, with me now is Dr. Herbert Barrie, consultant paediatrician at Charing Cross Hospital in London. Dr. Barrie, more than a week ago now, you said that rescuers should go on digging for 3 or 4 days to see if there were any more small babies alive in the rubble. So are you surprised after 15 days to find a 9-year-old still alive?
I'm surprised. When I said 3 or 4 days, some people thought that was unduly optimistic. But at this time, that's nothing short of a miracle.
How would he have survived?
Well, he must have had water. I don't think there's any question about that. He couldn't have survived that length of time without water. And it's going to be interesting to know just how he got to the water. But certainly children and even adults can survive for very long periods without food.
He's speaking, so what sort of state would you think he's in now?
That's terribly encouraging. The fact that he's speaking would suggest that his mental state is still clear and that there's no brain damage. I would also guess that he's not in any pain, because I think if he was speaking, he would have indicated that. So in that sense, I think what we have heard so far is terribly encouraging.
What about the possibility of long-term damage, though?
Well, it remains to be seen what sort of state he's in. But I think at this stage one can be reasonably optimistic, because he's a young lad and properly resuscitated. It may be that all the changes that have occurred in the last few days can be reversed.
What kind of changes would you be talking about?
The main one, I think, even if he had had water, would be dehydration, because the water he had would have been water and wouldn't have contained any salts, and so he would suffer a considerable amount of dehydration, and that leads to all sorts of body disturbances to do with the state of the salts, and that would need very careful correction. He would be short of sugar, he'd be very cold, he'd probably have a low blood pressure. He must be close to a coma, and I would think he must be very weak.
If he were coming into your care, how would you be caring for him?
Well, the immediate thing, I think, is to make sure that he doesn't get any colder and that he is very gently handled. I think one would want a team of doctors available so that he can be given oxygen, if necessary, to be given oxygen straight into his lungs. He may need to have some fluid put into his veins straight away just to push his blood pressure up. And then he needs to be moved very quickly to a centre where he can be fully evaluated.
And you'd be hopeful for him?
I'd be very hopeful, yes.
Dr. Herbert Barrie, thank you very much for being with us. And hopefully we'll be coming back to the story if we get more news later in the programme.